right, we're going live. All right, we're live. Give it a second, let some people join. Appreciate everybody joining us. We're going to get started in just a minute. And I'm excited because I don't know if you guys know who I have on tonight, but you're going to for sure. So let's see. All right. All right, dope. All right, good deal. So, all right, my man, let's just get it started. Like, first off, can you just introduce yourself and your age and all that good stuff, and then we can get into what you've been doing up until this age, and then how you even ended up in real estate.
Yeah. All right, guys. So I'm Jacob Blank. I started my real estate journey at the age of 16, and now I'm 18 years old, and I've been able to make my company produce six-figure months almost every month. And not many people are able to get past that point, or even to that point. And at a young age, I'm so blessed and excited that I've been able to build my company in order to do that. And the sky's the limit, and I'm just proof for everyone that you can start at a young age. And that's a little bit about who I am.
All right, dope. So for a little bit of backstory, guys, like I met this guy, me and my girl, when we went to San Antonio to speak, and I was like blown away. And then I got to meet you and your pops, and like y'all are just really good people. And then y'all stay in Phoenix, which Phoenix, is like my second home, bro. Like I love Phoenix and Arizona in general. So, it was just dope to meet you guys, hear your story. And like, I'm just like, bro, you're a hustler. Like I was hustling when I was your age, but not on like bigger picture shit. Like I was working 2 jobs and like, you know what I'm saying? Like it was just different. So I wanted to bring you on because, I think we just connect with people we relate with. And I always say this, and I said this in San Antonio, is like when I got started in real estate, all there was like Sean Terry, which like I learned so much, bro, like consume the content like crazy. But it's really hard for me to relate with like you know what I'm saying, a middle-aged white man. Right. And I think like people can relate with, what they see in themselves and see in other people. And with you being so young, bro, like I was just like blown away. Yeah. And, so I wanted to bring you on so we could talk about this. So, how did you even find out about real estate or like even start thinking entrepreneur wise? I'm sure it had a lot to do with your dad, but yeah.
Yeah. So 100%, there's a lot of young people that are trying to get into this business. I feel like more than ever. So there's a lot of people that can relate to me. Also, it helps for those older people getting into the business to realize, hey, if this guy could get deals at 16, then why can't I? So, since I was young, like you said, I've always had that hustle in me. I worked at burger places. I worked at the movie theater, but I also had a bunch of side stuff going on. I was selling stuff on OfferUp, but I actually created it into a business and scaled it up. I found everything in my house that my parents didn't use, that no one used, and I listed it on OfferUp. Found everything at my grandma's house that she wasn't using, listed it on OfferUp. Then what I did is after I sold all that, I made a decent amount of money, maybe a little bit shy of $1,000. But then I reached out to my grandma's handyman, and he had a garage full of junk. And I'm like, can I partner with you? Sell everything you don't need, and we'll split the profits. Boom, helped him, sold a bunch of stuff, made another $1,000. Then I partnered up with my friends because they had stuff from when they were kids, like Legos and stuff like that they weren't using, and they could sell them. Like, I'll list it for you. I'll do all the work. I'll meet the people to sell it to them. Let's just split the profits. Piled away all the money, piled away all the money from my birthdays and everything like that, because I didn't need to go buy candy or stupid stuff at the store, because I knew I was saving my money for a bigger purpose. For that entrepreneurship, I was saving my money so that it could set me free, right? Eventually. So I put all that money aside. And so I've been doing this since I was, 13, 14. And then where the real estate comes in is I was always going to my dad's flips. My dad's been in real estate since 2004. And since I was 12, he switched from doing traditional real estate, listing people's houses, stuff like that, to being an investor and flipping houses. No wholesaling, just flipping houses. So I would go to his jobs, his flips, since I was 12. And then when I was 16, I had $5,000 saved up from doing all that stuff that I just told you about. And my dad got a deal direct to seller. And he said, I think it would be good for us to partner up and you put $5,000 in on the deal and do it from start to finish with me. So I did the deal. I learned about the paperwork, the title, everything like that. Going through escrow, I put in toilets, painted, put in flooring, painted the cabinets, everything, the whole shebang, so I could learn every part of the business. And I wound up doubling my money. At this time, I found out about Alex Sains, and I thought, wow, that flip took us, almost 4 or 5 months to do the flip. And I realized, hey, I could have done, 10, maybe 15 wholesales in the time it took me to do that flip. And I would have made, triple the money. So I really started looking into this, and I'm like, Dad, we got to do this. He told me he's done one or two wholesale deals a couple of years back, but not really. He never really dived into it because it's like a gray area, right? Those people that have been in real estate for a long time, they think wholesaling is a gray area, and they don't really want to mess with it. So I really dived into it, thought, hey, I could do this because I'm young. It doesn't look that hard. And we got into it. I started calling sellers every day, and putting out bandit signs and stuff like that, flyers, put out 500 flyers to all the pre-foreclosures for about 4 months, and never got anything for it took me 8 months to get my first deal. So after I'm calling, I'm putting out flyers. I then hired 2 cold callers with the callgenius.com, and they were calling every day. I was making way more calls now because I had 2 people helping me cold call. Now I was just following up with the leads. Finally, after 8 months, or actually take it back, 6 months, I got my first deal under contract. When I went to go sell the deal, they showed my buyer a bid for $14,000 of foundation repair. My deal fell through. I was, broken. I was so upset. I wanted to quit. Everyone's going to have these bumps in the road. I wanted to quit, but I kept pushing forward. Maybe I was down for 2 days, but after that, I picked the phone back up and I started following up with the leads, and we got our first deal under contract for $440, and I wound up selling it for $470, making a $30,000 assignment fee as my first deal. And at that moment, it clicked. I knew I could just continue to do this, and rinse and repeat, right? Rinse and repeat. And, I never looked back, and here I am.
Yeah, no, bro, and there's a lot like that I want to dive in there, and I think it starts with like even how you got the money to get in real estate, right? And maybe at the time you didn't even know it was real estate, you were just stacking your bread, right, for opportunity. And I know, like, bro, when I was in high school, like I made a lot of money, but I spent a lot of money, like you said, on dumb things. And like I said, like I was telling you before, like if I knew what you knew at your age, like I would probably easily be a millionaire by now by all the money I've spent on dumb things. And so it's just crazy to hear. But I like what you said is like, regardless, you went to other people, and not only did you find a way to make money, but you also found a way to add value to them. They had things that they wanted to get rid of, and you saw a way that you could make money with not really anything being involved other than hustle. And really, I mean, your age group, and me as well, like we're good with technology. It's not hard to take pictures and put stuff on OfferUp. Just people don't want to do the physical work of dealing with people wanting to buy it, not showing up, like the headaches of it, right? So I just love that you led with value, because so many people, like, they want things from people, but they don't want to start by adding value. And it's just like,
and I like that because it like ties down to what we do, right? That OfferUp stuff. I had a service that made it easy, right? We help people sell their house for easy. I had a service. Hey, you want to throw the stuff out, but you know how people have those struggles. Hey, should I throw this out? It's worth money. I don't, how they struggle to clean up, right? But I had this service. I can get rid of all your junk and make you money, and I'll do the whole thing. And it ties into this real estate stuff too. So people like us, right? It's simple. It's just flipping this, finding someone, giving a service, and flipping this, and we make money. And it's really easy, the concept, right? And we're both on TikTok, and we get a bunch of comments. It's not that easy. It's a competitive market, whatever. But really what we're telling you is, we're laying it out for you, and it's an easy concept. But when you really dive into it, it does become hard, right? But fundamentally, it's easy. Anyone can understand it. It just matters how much work are you going to put in for it.
Yeah. And And I think expectations always mess us up, right? We think how much work it's going to take, and it's going to take 10 times more and 10 times more than that, right? Like it's always going to take more than what we expected. But sometimes we get comfortable. And like I was even talking to a guy today, I've been trying to help this guy in my market get his first deal. And this is like the second deal. Third, well, he's locked up two. They didn't go through. And I told him, like, I was just like, hey, I don't think you're going to be able to sell these, but go ahead, get the experience, right? Regardless, like, you need to know what this feels like. And so we finally get a deal, 20K assignment. We're going to JV at 50-50. He's going to make 10 grand. And I'm really just walking him through the process, right? Well, now the deal's probably falling apart. And, he was like, talking about like, not that he's going to give up, but he's been here before in this exact spot. And I was just telling him like, man, like sometimes it's like a meme I posted, whatever you believe, but it's like sometimes God is it's hard for us to tell, is he testing us or is it time for us to give up, right? It's hard to distinct between those two things. And this is one of those businesses where you literally have to give it your all and fail completely before you can see the results. Like there's sometimes that we get houses and it's just like there's nothing you can do, man. Like there's nothing you can do. And I even lost like 13 grand on a deal last year trying to help this lady for like 2 years and put myself at too much risk, right? So it's problem solving though, like you said, and being able to provide a value to the marketplace. And so, what would you say though, from that first deal that fell apart, like what were some of the things that you learned from that deal? Cause I think that's the main thing. Like we were talking, like I drove to look at a house, didn't even get to put an offer in. Right. But we still take these chances and we still get back up swinging. Why is that? And what did you learn from that first deal?
It's all a learning experience. I love that you told him to lock it up, even though, we might be able to sell it, but it might not be, because the whole time you learn, right? That first deal, it fell through. I learned to look for foundation issues. But now looking back with my experience, I realized, hey, if I just blasted this out to more buyers, walked more buyers through it, I could have got someone to buy the deal. But so I learned that too, right? Sometimes you'll have something bad happen, right? And then your experience after months and months and months, then you'll be able to look back and actually get the lesson from that later on, right? But I've had deals, I had them sold for 64,000, then they walked it and they backed out. I got their 5,000 earnest money, and then I had to resell it and I only made 13,000 because I was running out of time. And so this stuff always happens. It happens all the time. Like a deal's not closing, or like even I had a buyer, run me around like to get earnest money, and like I should have just moved on, right? Or if I feel fishy about a buyer, now I learned, hey, I'm gonna have them come sign the assignment in my office, give me the check, and I'll bring it to title, because everything's learning, and it actually saves you time because you run into less of these mistakes, right? Like now I'm sure we know, like if they're not going to sign, or if there's going to be a ton of buyers, or like it seems like it might be already sold, that I'm going to save my time and not drive out. But if it feels like, hey, there might be opportunity here, even though there's investors going, but I'm going to be the last person there, it's worth my time. So all of these things that we fail on, hiccups happen in escrow, all this just it lets you see them early on and prevent more mistakes. And the best way, because like I'm young, right? So like when you were young, imagine you lose $500 out of your wallet. You lose your wallet. I'm sure you'd go home crying to your parents, oh no, I lost all my money, and be so upset about it. But now I've changed my mindset completely to every time something happens, I'm like, I try to look for the winning streak, like Charlie says, I look for the winning streak, and I look for the learning experience, and then I always come out of it happy. And
you have to train your mind, man. And like, especially in this business, bro, like me and my girl were talking the other day about like real estate is like long-term one of the most forgiving asset classes, but like in day-to-day is the most like unforgiving, like bitch, bro. Like you know what I mean? Like she doesn't care about anything, and the craziest shit will happen, and like you will never, like things that you just literally couldn't make up in a story. But when you learn to like remove emotion from it, like completely, like you said, and just be like, it was cool. Like today, I drove 2 hours. It was like, bro, I listened to a dope podcast, had some really great ideas about future content, and I knew at the end of the day, I get to talk to you. So this conversation would be stimulating. You know what I mean? So it's like you got to find the positive and just keep moving from it, right?
Yeah.
And anything can happen. Like you said, like we had a buyer not show last week and I had to find a new buyer. And like you said, it's like little things you just learn each time, or it just reinforces something you said before. Like you said now, like if I get a bad feeling about a buyer, like off the rip, like I'm just not going to do it with them.
Yeah.
Like I was telling another guy this, just because somebody has the highest offer doesn't always mean that's the best offer. And you got to go highest or best, not highest and best, like highest or best offer.
Yeah, but even though we see the winning streaks or we see the learning experiences, we are still down sometimes. Sometimes ruin our weeks, or we have a deadline to get this deal closed and this buyer's not answering. Stuff still happens, right? And so you're not alone. And especially in the beginning, you don't really know what you're doing most of the time. So like, just keep pushing forward and act as if you know what you're doing, and just try to get a deal closed and learn as you go, really, because fail forward, right? Fail forward, because if you're not learning as you go, if you're being too cautious, if you don't want to lose money, just like that DM that you posted today, if you're scared to lose money, you're never going to get anywhere. So
and it's like, I want to touch base on that really quick, because it just amazes me the things that people spend money on. But like, if you ask them to invest in like a course or a guide or just something like, you know what I'm saying, that could make your life better. Like, I don't understand it. Like I was telling you, like I'm about to buy a YouTube course so I can understand it. Like I don't understand it. I've tried figuring it out and I just don't get it. So I'll pay somebody to just learn something at a quicker rate, and it's going to save me all this headache. And yeah, there's going to be things that still happen and I have to figure it out. But why wouldn't you want to, you know what I'm saying? Or even tune into this. It's free information, right? But people, I had at least probably 15 DMs today alone that all had the exact same message. Hey, I need a mentor and I want to learn how to do this business. And I'm like, hey, go check out this guide, or I'm doing a live in my group. And half of them won't show up, right? Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? The ones that get it. But like you said, it's simple, but it's not easy. It takes a certain level of hustle. What do you think? I guess
I could add to that. I get a lot of DMs too. They're like, how do I get my first deal or whatever? I'm like, first, this is exactly what I tell them. Go watch everything you possibly can on YouTube about wholesaling, and then come back, tell me you did that, and ask the same question. Because then I'll try to give you a little blueprint that you can take action on. But like, you need to understand the concept fully. And then the course thing, I think wholesaling real estate, if you really look into who you're going to buy that type of thing from in real estate, wholesaling real estate, it's one of the least risky places to start and to buy a course, because I feel like this is real. I'm a little cautious about like a Forex course or like that stuff, because like, I don't know, but this is real. Like the concept is easy. So I feel like, bro. Yeah, I feel like it makes sense to pay for this, but a lot of people don't want to pay to learn, right? And I feel like I was even that way, because like when I was younger, like I didn't want to pay, right? But then I finally, to learn something, I finally saved up enough money where, if I pay this, it's not going to be a huge hit, right? And so I took the leap of faith, paid, right, to learn. And now it's opened my mind to pay for a lot more stuff so I can skip ahead, right? It's all about time.
Just like, as you get older, right? It just, like you said, it speeds up things. And let's talk about that. So you did your first deal. Where did that lead come from? What did it look like? And you said it was 30,000. Like, and what did you learn from that deal, right? You had one go bad and this one went correct. Like,
one went correct, sorta. I undersold the deal. I could have made like double. But it happens, right? I was trying to be nice, like, because we had the mindset of flippers back then, because we were running our numbers like flippers, not like wholesalers, right? Wholesalers, there's jokes. Oh, we put our ARV higher than it really is. We try to sell higher where the deal doesn't make sense. And there's those jokes. Well, us wholesalers do try to mark it up like to the maximum we can, because we got to maximize on our marketing dollars, right? But I
And
was,
the market determines the value anyways. Like we don't. That's what something people
yeah,
forget. Like because if I don't pay it, there's still somebody else that will. Like I said, I went to a showing today. There was 15 people. I didn't even get to put an offer in, and I was willing to pay over asking, bro. So
yeah,
that the market showing that that's what people will pay. You can get as mad as you want. That dude's still going to the bank to buy a house. You
right,
know.
yeah. And, we were looking at it like as a flipper standpoint. I'm going to give this guy a good deal so then he can go make money after and then come back and still buy deals from me. Well, you know, we were looking at it like here's the remodel cost, right? Throw 5,000 in miscellaneous right there, because that's how we look at deals. If we were going to buy a deal to flip it, just like my first flip, we looked at it that way. But now, and then I'll jump back to what type of lead and how I got it. But now, I put it at what I look at the non-MLS sales. I use my calculator and I go off the highest ARV. I go off of the minimal repairs possible, and I try to get the highest price I can. And if that good buyer that does a lot of deals thinks I have it, that I'm asking too much on this one, well, somebody else will come along and buy it. And, 2 weeks down the line, there will be a better deal for this buyer. So, that's just how it is. The mindset kind of changed, and I lost money in the beginning because I had the wrong mindset about selling deals, not a wholesaler mindset, right? My dad had a realtor mindset and a flipper mindset, and now we figured out how to be wholesalers.
Hey,
But
but real quick, I think it's important to what you said is like too one of the biggest fears, like, and I know you've probably read this in multiple books, as so have I, is people are actually scared of success, right? Or making a large check. And I think a lot of it goes back to like what you truly believe, right? And I feel like I deserve to make really good money, bro. And like for instance, we were just talking about big deals that we did, right? So our $50,000 deal was easy as shit, and the people were amazing, bro. They loved us. They were happy to sell our house. I actually could have got it 5 to 10 grand cheaper, but I was willing to pay more because I knew I was still going to make good. Like I didn't want to be greedy over 5, 10 grand when I know I'm going to make 50, 60, $70,000, right? And so I think sometimes people are scared though to have those conversations, to make those really low offers, because at the end of the day, bro, they have a motivation and they need to sell. You're there to help them. And as long as you're doing things ethically, it's okay for you to make a lot of money. And I think some people have that fear and they're scared to make a lot of money, and they're like, well, I could do it, but when the pressure's on the line, like, I mean, are you able to perform? You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, and it's okay to make a lot of money. Like, I that's just how I was raised, bro. Like, people with money, they weren't supposedly good people, or they did it in a bad way. And it's like, I literally helped a family and they loved me and they left me amazing reviews and they checked on my baby. Like, you know
what
what I
they
mean?
want. It's just like everyone has their own version of success. Everyone has their own version of what they want out of their house when they sell it. And if we can provide what they want and help them and give them an easy process, we're not doing anything wrong. And the tough thing with that too is, right, a lot of my big deals, they didn't have an asking price. So I had to just shoot my shot, and they're like, I like your offer, right? And then I feel like, shoot, I could have shot lower.
Every time, bro. Every
Yeah,
time.
or like it's still a good deal, so I'm happy. But that's why you got to test the waters and feel like, how low can I shoot when it's like that, when they have no asking price. But like my big deals, that was a big deal, and I actually took it down and flipped it. It was the condo that I just finished flipping. It would have been like a $50,000 wholesale, and I decided to take it down. I'm gonna make like 65, maybe a little bit more than 65 by flipping it. And I could have wholesaled it, made it easy on myself, but I kind of just took it down for like the YouTube videos and stuff to kind of teach people stuff about a flip and like add that to my resume of flips I've done, and it was an easy one though, 700 square foot condo. But when it comes to flips, I try to avoid them and just wholesale unless it's going to be a lot more money to flip it, or unless I need to cancel with a seller, and I try everything I can to not cancel. So if I want to buy it because I don't want to cancel on them, I'll buy it. But then I have a 54,000 closing tomorrow, and then my other biggest deal was a 56, and it was the easiest thing ever. He wanted, I believe, I think he wanted, I can't remember the exact numbers. It was last year. He wanted like 102,000. We went to his house on a Sunday to buy it. And we were trying to hit him at like 98 to make a few thousand more. And he was like stressing, sitting there like, oh my gosh. I don't know if I can go any lower or whatever. And like after 2 seconds of him stressing, we're just like, never mind, we'll give you the 102 because we didn't want
Yeah.
to. Yeah, but that was fun. I sold that one to Jared Vidalis.
Oh,
So
nice, nice.
yeah.
But yeah, so like, where did the first one though? What did it look like? Where did it come from?
So it was a cold call lead. They were, was it a new build or just a new house? I think it was a new build that they already had almost complete. So they needed to sell their house. I believe they wanted like 450 or something. Like it wasn't far off. So we went out to the property to meet him face to face. He was a bus driver. That's what he did for work. And then his wife is a CPA. We went out. And he was at 450. We offered 440. The property needed a full remodel, like 100,000, and then there was a 720 comp across the street, and then the other comps were at 660. So we were guessing maybe 700. But of course, I undersold the deal, so I put the ARV probably at like 660 because I didn't know what I was doing.
Um,
But he said he wanted to think about it, show the agreement to his wife. So then, like the next day, we came out after dinner and like sat down at their kitchen table, got it signed. Super nice people. And then I walked Zach Keeps through it. I sold the deal to Zach Keeps. And if a wholesaler is underselling their deal, buy it and make money, right?
yeah.
Resell the deal, right? Like by all means, resell the deal. So that's what he did. He resold the deal. I believe he made like 20, and some other guy sold it.
Are you serious?
So, yeah, but by all means, I love Zach.
How much did the other guy make after
Dude,
him?
I'm gonna be honest. They made more than double what I made. I sold it for 30. There was 5 or 6 further assignments on the deal.
Holy
It
shit!
went up to 518, I believe. So they made 48,000 on top of me. Yeah, and but the craziest thing is, I was at my friend's house and I didn't know his. Well, one of my friends, he's not like a close friend, but we all went over there, and I didn't know his family did flips or wholesales, but they were his parents were one of the further assignments. It was crazy. So, yeah, that was a learning experience, though. But like, by
What was
all
the
means,
biggest takeaway from that deal then?
take away, like if you're just getting into this business and you undersell your deal, and then you see that it was reassigned, don't hate the person you sold it to, because if you were in his position, you would do the same thing. And I've actually been able to create one of my best relationships in this business with that buyer. And it is what it is. This stuff happens. I made 30,000. If I didn't make that 30,000, I wouldn't be here. So that 30,000 means the world to me. The deal means the world to me, even though it went, badly, sorta. After the fact, it leaves a bitter taste in your mouth. Like, damn, I left all that money. But then it was my first learning experience about underselling a deal. And, I've had 30 more of those, feelings of underselling a deal. And a lot of the time I go like, oh my gosh, like freaking out about underselling it. Like right away, I just like it washes over me and I'm just so upset. But now I don't do that anymore. I made money. It's a win. And so that was my first learning of that. Any deal that I get sold, it's a win. Stop being a baby. If you undersold it, you made money. Yeah.
Hey, yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's crazy that it can be reassigned. Like even at our title company, you can't even reassign a deal. Like if they reassign a deal, my title lady will call me.
This is why I didn't put no further assignments on my contract. So it was able to be reassigned. Or I didn't put on there have to get approval from a signor to reassign. So it just kept going. I got a call. She's like, there's like 5 or 6 assignments. And she's like, I don't really know what to do. We're worried to insure the title on this. You know what I mean? So,
did you have to move it or they still closed it?
They still closed it. So.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, that's good. And it worked out, like, right? It got you started. But then you said I think you said you met the all-in people, or like how soon after did that happen? And then like where did that take your business and to current, like where are you at?
I think I paid them before I even got my first deal. I think I took my 10,000, right? I I kind of get it all mixed up in my mind, the timeline exactly, because it's been a while and I'm busy every day in the trenches doing this business. But I think I paid them before I first got my first deal. I got that one deal that fell through before I paid them, but then I decided to pay them. I took my 10,000 that I made with that flip. My dad paid the other half. We paid them for mentorship, and then we went to that elite meetup thing where we learn like the day one, day two thing, and then like 3 days later we got the deal. So yeah, and then we learned how to take that money and turn it into this.
And then like where are you guys at like today, like on average, like
Today.
deals like that?
Yeah.
And
Deals. Oh, I can't click off. I was gonna tell you what's in my pipeline, but I believe it's like 153 in the pipeline to close by the end of October. And then, we've had our average month is 68,000 minimum. So we are getting consistent, and the number that is consistent is getting a lot higher. That's for sure.
yeah,
So
and what would you say like attributed to that the most though? Like what were some changes? And like you don't have to give out the full all-in playbook or anything like that, but just like some key changes that you would say that you guys made in your business that could really take somebody from maybe doing a deal, every couple months to like really being in this business and maybe doing it full time.
we learned a lot of stuff about, just all parts of the business, and then like got hiring stuff and all that. But the main thing that really benefited us out of all that was the accountability, because like my dad, he just turned 52 yesterday. He's we're not by any, we're a good, middle class family. We're fine, right? And he could have kept doing 4 flips a year to, make 6 figures a year and be happy. But, we wouldn't have took it to this level. I feel like we would have been happy with 3 deals a month, if it was just me and him without them. So their accountability and like pressure on us to, they told us to do this and us needing to get it done really helped us get here, for sure.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. There was one more thing I wanted to say, but I can't remember. Shoot, I don't know. If it comes to me, I'll let you know.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think that's important, right? Because whether you're holding yourself accountable or you pay someone to hold yourself accountable, but I think just surrounding yourself with like-minded people. That's why I like to keep in touch with you, other people. Like there's so many people. Like I was talking to Steve Trang earlier. Like I just love knowing that I get to the opportunity to meet awesome people like you, and it's good to build your tribe, man, because like with social media, it's made the world so much smaller, and you can really help each other grow together, because also it's like things we could talk about. You're not in my market, so it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that what you're doing is going to work in my market either.
No.
So like something to think about too.
Yeah.
But
I remembered what I was gonna say.
yeah, go ahead.
Like, how did I get to doing this many deals every month, doing 68,000 minimum a month? I became a closer myself. I became a closer. I brought in $200,000 in the past 3 months myself. And that was, to be honest, Real Estate Diddy's acquisition course changed the game for me like crazy. Like I'm just pulling strings with these sellers today. I just got this house under contract, and we're going to try to get cash for keys. And the seller's like, you have a way with words. I think you should call the tenant and try to convince them to do cash for keys. And I'm just like, I've learned to, the sales skills are on point, and that's huge for this business, right? You can make yourself rich being a one-man show if you are a closer, and
Bro, and we all like, that's the thing that people forget is we're all in sales. Like if you're a human, you're constantly selling yourself to other people. It's just how you do it. And as you're learning, like yes, real estate is a numbers game, but it's like Jim Rohn talks about, like if you want to increase that, if you want to increase the average, you know what I'm saying? Like if you want to increase, like instead of going from this many leads is how many I convert to this many, is that you need to learn to close. And it doesn't have to be like, figure out what works for you. Diddy's course, like I need to get it too, bro, just because I like learning sales
Dude,
in general.
it's
But
good. Like it made the whole thing a game for me. It's like a game where there's different levels, right? And there's the level for the beginning of the call, in the middle and at the end, and there's different things that I have to do in order to position them where I want them to be at the end at level 3, right? And I'm positioning them for the close the whole time. I'm pulling certain strings. If this string doesn't work, I got the second backup string to pull. Like like I can just play it out all in my head. Like it's crazy now. Like I'm mind
yeah,
blown.
bro, it's important, and that's why I tell people, like, even reading sales books, never split the difference. You can't teach a kid to ride a bike at a seminar. The light switch, like, just, you know what I'm saying, pitch anything, like all these great books. There's so much information out there. Like you said, just watching, you could spend hours on Max's channel alone, or Bigger Pockets, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like just learning all about real estate or wholesaling in general. And you've been putting out content. Obviously, I'm putting out content. That's why we're doing these things, to show other people that this is possible. And that's
Right.
why I love the dynamic of even doing these. Like I'm gonna have a guy that's newer. He's doing trailers coming on soon. A chick that's in my market that's killing it, bro. Like that, she's not even really that big on social media, but they're like sharks, bro. Like I just love meeting people that are in this business, and showing that it's possible, man. Like whether you're 17, a female, black, white, like I just love
Yeah.
that business can provide that, right?
I'm kind of circling back here, but like I think the reason a lot of people don't dive in on YouTube and stuff is because there really isn't a video that takes you A to Z, get your first deal. It's impossible to lay everything out in a YouTube video. That's something more that you would get in a course. But the main thing is, picking up these different language, like the different words we use, right? And then Googling them, understanding what these words mean and the terminology so you can understand more parts of the business. And subconsciously you're listening to us talk about wholesale real estate. It's just all making you learn and be comfortable, so that way you're not like fresh, right? You're not green. You feel more familiar. That way you're less nervous to go get on the phone with these sellers. It's just the little things, and a lot of little things add up. So like watching as much as you can is huge, and just most people don't do it because it's not an A to Z blueprint. You know what I mean?
Well, not
So
only that, I think like you said, there may not be A to Z, but there's definitely enough to get you to fill in the gaps, right? And get your first deal done. And like for me, I didn't even know that. Like when I found out about wholesaling, like my dumbass almost paid somebody $50,000 to teach me what I could have learned by, like, because I didn't even know about podcasts. Like I was just so green, bro. Like I only thought about life like this certain way, like go to college, which I want to talk about with you. Like, what are your thoughts on
yeah,
college now that you know what you know? And
yeah. 1 second too about that. Like I watched everything possible on YouTube, and then I still paid someone, you know, thousands of dollars to teach me too, because I could have learned how to get deals from YouTube, but then I got deals and I decided to, use that money. Hey, let's go pay someone to show me how to get 10 deals instead of 2, 3 a month, and college. I can't justify going to college if I'm making enough in a year to pay for my college. So that's pretty much all I got to say about that. I don't really like school. I think it's good to learn critical thinking skills, but it's not for me. It's not for me.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're preaching to
Go
the
to
choir.
college? No, right? You didn't go to college.
I did, bro. I sucked at college. Let me tell you how bad I sucked at college. So it took me 5 years to get a 2-year degree, and I did pay my way, so it took me a little longer. And I'm happy that you know what I'm saying. We look at winning streaks, right? What did it teach me? And it was that, you know what I'm saying, I can do shit on my own and stay out of debt. It just may take a little bit longer, right? Delayed gratification. But I do have my associate's degree, and I was about to go finish and get my bachelor's. But I went to that damn seminar, and I heard a quote in my last semester that really just kind of like changed the way I think. And it was just like, you can't learn to make $1 million from somebody who makes less than 100,000 a year. And I was like, fuck this, I'm done with college, bro. Or at least for 2 years, because worst case, you can always go back to college, bro. But now it's like looking at Corona and everything that's happened, it's like college isn't even going to be relevant in a couple years, bro. You can literally go through a course with Google and be starting out like 60, 70 grand a year. You can only go up from there. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It's crazy that they're going to try to charge full price college prices for online college. It's just crazy. And, you know, I couldn't go, you know, I'm still in high school. I do my online classes. I graduate in December, but I couldn't see myself, say Corona wasn't a thing though, but like say they were still in class school. I couldn't see myself sitting in a classroom, wasting my time listening to a teacher, no offense, when I could go and be on the phone and get a $30,000 to $50,000 deal in that time. It just, I can't do it. So
yeah, no, it doesn't align with your goals. So like, go ahead.
I'm the kid in class looking at the clock, tapping his feet.
Bro,
I can't wait to get out of class and get out of school to go get on OfferUp and sell all my junk on there to make money. Like out of school, I'm riding my skateboard around. I'm doing whatever I can. I'm riding my skateboard down the street to my friend's house, picking up their stuff to go meet the buyer for the stuff from OfferUp, whether it's his Legos or his like Xbox games, his old Xbox games. And I'm just like hustling every day after school because I thought that was fun. I don't know. There was nothing better to do pretty much, you know, so.
Yeah, no, I've always had a fascination with money, but like I said, I just spent a lot when I was younger, and now that I understand it even more, I'm even more fascinated. And especially having kids now, it's like seeing them get to learn, right? So my son can be like you, right, flipping stuff, and like with his generation, it's even crazier the opportunities that are going to be. Like he's already like trying to get me to set him up a Twitch channel and like all this shit, and I'm like, bro, low key though, if he did it from he's 8 now for 10 years alone, I'm sure he could figure it out, bro. Like, because with all these apps and everything, they're just learning how to do shit even quicker and easier, right?
So we're lucky, you know. Like I feel like our time is now like college isn't the way. We've got so much online. Like if I think I said this to you before, maybe in San Antonio, if you gave someone, you know, 10 courses freshman year, right? And you had them do that as homework for the first till the end of sophomore year, do those 10 courses. I guarantee by senior year, they're making 6 figures a year just because of the courses.
Oh, yeah, bro. I say that. I say the same thing, like in a similar way. Like we think about internships, right? Instead of going to college, right? What if we all our internship, or you just made it your goal to go work for somebody that's wealthy for free for 2 years? You don't think that you would learn something or a life skill, or meet somebody that will introduce you to someone that would change your life? Like you don't think by being around a millionaire or billionaire that you would find, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's the in-person, hands-on stuff, because I guarantee I've learned more in the past year and a half doing this business than I would have learned in college, for sure, because it's the day-to-day, the things popping up, the failures, right? There's so much to learn. It's crazy, you know, about money. It's not just about, like, it's how to handle your money, you know, loans and all that, right? Because I'm getting loans for flips, right? I'm getting SBA loans from the government for my business because of Corona and all this. Like I'm learning about interest rates, this, that, all this, and market, right? The market may crash, right? And I'm doing market research to see what's going on, right? Because of this Corona stuff. And like, if I was in school, I wouldn't be learning this stuff. So it's huge.
Yeah, it's real world knowledge that you're going to need, right? And the world's going to look completely different after this year. So it's more important now, like you said, than ever. So
I didn't know how to sign a check, write a check, till I started doing wholesaling real estate, because school doesn't teach you that. And even signing a check. Yeah. So it's crazy.
Wow. So that's dope, man. So you guys are killing it. I guess last little bit like thing that you could leave, like, you know, what are things that you're doing in your business that you guys are having success with? Like, I know you said cold calling, like what else are you guys doing? And, you know, what are some parting words you could give to people on getting started and how to kill it?
Yeah, our main thing that's killing it for us is cold calling. We range between 14 to 18 cold callers depending because people get fired and then we hire new people and stuff like that. So 14 to 18 cold callers. Cold calling is huge. It's a really inexpensive way to get a lot of leads, right? You can pay for marketing that costs more, but then you'll only have a handful of leads, right? Why not collect thousands of people? Well, not thousands. It's like 1,000 a month when you have this many cold callers, and collect all these people. And I guarantee, 20 leads out of those 1,000 minimum are going to be hot leads, right? And then the rest of the people are people you can follow up with that at least were open to the idea of cash offers. So cold calling's huge. Other things that we do a little bit of SMS. We SMS pre-foreclosures every day, and we SMS lates, absentee, and divorce. That's all we SMS. We haven't had great success with SMS. I know you, Derrick, have a bunch of success with SMS.
Yeah, bro, I love it. It's been doing good for us, but we still do cold calling. It's just like you said, during Corona, we lost a couple callers. We don't run nearly as many. We're down to 2, but I like to stay around 5 to 7. So that's where we want to be by the end of the year. It's you never know, right? It's consistency, right? Like one could be killing it. We could get like last month, we got a bunch of SEO leads. They didn't pan out, but it could be whatever works, right?
Yeah, and that's amazing too. I've put in probably about 500 hours of work on SEO, and I want to 10x that, like early 2021, 10x that, because we're getting between 10 to 15 SEO leads a month, and that's completely free pretty much, other than the hours that I'm paying a VA to put into it. But then once it's we have a bunch of backlinks and all that stuff, then it will be free marketing, right? So that's amazing. But cold calling's huge for me. That's the main thing. And when we had this, because I did Instagram live with you, like a couple months into coronavirus, and I had 2 cold callers. I went from 8 to 2 because of coronavirus. I set back a little bit. I really shouldn't have. I sent my employees home, and I worked from home myself, so I wasn't being as productive. But then I decided, after maybe a month or 2 months, during those 2 months, I did a ton of work on SEO, learning how to do it myself, and then teaching a VA to do it. And so I learned a ton during those 2 months. But then we went back to the office. We decided to turn it up. We went to 12 cold callers, and then we just kept adding people. Now we're at 14 to 18, depending on who's fired, who's not. So, we decided, screw it. Let's turn it up. We're going to get deals, and one deal will pay for the marketing. So let's close some deals and let's turn it up and not be scared, because we'll get our money back. We'll make sure we do, and that's
Absolutely, bro. And that's I think that that's another thing too. And that's like you said, Corona, bro. It was weird times, and I chilled out for a couple months too. And I wasn't even, we were talking about office and stuff. That's another reason, I wasn't worried, bro, because we run so lean. And it sucks we lost people, but it is what it is. But now it's we had such good momentum in January and February that I got a taste of it. Then I'm okay, I was just talking to Ben today, bro, we got to go bigger. We got to get back on our shit, and we owe it to ourselves. And that's another thing, bro. We owe it to the sellers, right? There are people right now that are in situations that need help, whether they admit it or not. We are there to provide a service and help these people better their lives.
100%. And yeah, we lost momentum too. And, but we picked it back up. But I hate that, because with me, I'm young. I have giant goals. I want to build every department in the business, have them bringing me in money every month, and me to be able to not be here every day if I don't want to be. That's huge. So I hate wasting time, because I want it now. Everything I want now. And that's because I'm a millennial. I'm young. We all want it now, because everything's so instant on our phones and stuff like that. And, it's hard to divert from being like that, but I want everything now. Kind of helps me in my business, because I shoot straight for my goals as quickly as possible, as I possibly can. And the one thing I hate most is losing time. It's the one thing I hate most, because 2 years from now, I want, my wholesale business to be doing multi-million dollars, and me to have every department built and not be stuck in the day to day, So that's where I'm at. That's my goals.
No,
So
I love it, bro. Dream big, and same thing, bro. Like we definitely want to go bigger. I want to do more. I want to create more content. I want to figure out this internet stuff, like because like we were talking about TikTok and things like that. And I see somebody commented, like I see him on TikTok. It's only gonna get bigger, man. And like other that goes back to once again, like there are gonna be haters, there's gonna be trolls, but there's a lot of people that we're going to be providing value. And if I get one person that makes 20 grand from something I said, bro, like that's something money can't buy. That's fucking dope. Like go you.
yeah,
Love seeing other people win. And I think it's just so important, bro.
yeah, and that stuff makes this work fun too, right? The teaching, the content, that stuff makes it fun. Like at the beginning, my dad was like, "You're wasting time. You're not working."
I don't understand
But
it,
I'm
bro.
like, I'm not wasting time. And now he realizes, because I've been able to, go on this right now with you, go on the All in Entrepreneurs podcast, go on the radio, go on the People's Wholesalers, just tons and tons of stuff that I thought I would never be able to go on, or like it was a dream to be able to be doing something like this. And now I've been able, it's opened tons of doors just because I put myself out there on social media, sharing my journey, and it's been a blessing. And now I am trying to do a lot on YouTube and teach a lot more and scale that up as well. So it's fun for sure.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So like what are some parting words you can leave like with the people to be successful, and then we'll get out of here.
Parting words. Parting words for people just getting started and parting words for people that are doing deals. I think if you're just getting started, we touched on this a bunch. Watch everything you can on YouTube. Please do. And I guarantee if you DM me or Derrick on Instagram and you go, I watched everything I possibly can on YouTube about wholesaling. Can I ask you a few questions? We would be like, yeah, totally. Because you understand the concept a bit. You're going to know what questions to ask. That way we'd actually really be able to help you out. That's for the people just getting started. And then for the people doing deals, man, turn it up. You can do more deals. Make yourself overwhelmed. I don't like when I'm not overwhelmed because it means I'm not making money. I want to be so overwhelmed because that's when I make a lot of money, when I'm like going crazy because too much is going on. And that's my main thing. That's it.
Hell yeah, no, and that's where we'll leave it, bro. And like you said, just do it, bro. Go watch videos, and we'll be able to tell based on the questions you ask, right?
Yeah.
So awesome, man. Well, I appreciate your time as always, guys. Follow Jacob if you're not already. TikTok, Instagram, and same for me. Ask your questions in the group, guys. Be active. Don't be scared. Like no question is a dumb question. And yeah, I appreciate it, man. Have a good night.
Thank you for having me.